Hey guys, Bijuu Mike here. Welcome to a visual novel called Crimson Gray. Now, I believe some of you guys probably suggested this to me. I really wouldn't be surprised with all the visual novel stuff that we have played on the channel. Just to give you guys like a heads up what this game's about, it says right here, John is a young man suffering from severe depression. Already, this seems like a game that would be on this channel. Yeah, guys, I wanted to give things like Baldis and stuff a break and play, you know, go back to the roots, play a visual novel because I really find a lot of enjoyment in this. And plus, this game has a lot of very positive reviews. I mean, if you just, they're all thumbs up. I don't see any bad reviews, and that's pretty rare for a visual novel, you know? Let's just say there may or may not be a Yandere girl in this visual novel. I actually don't know. But without further ado, guys, let's get it started. If you like this episode and want to see more, be sure to drop that like down below, guys. It really does mean a lot. All right, let's do it. John had always thought of himself as a stable person. Stability worked out well when he was just trying to not let the little things get him down. It wasn't so great when everything was crumbling around him. When the entire world started seeming gray and flat, then he began wondering if all that stability would kill him, and if he would care when it did. There weren't any highs or lows anymore. Whatever happened to him, John didn't feel happy or sad. He just, hey, what are you doing spacing out, man? You're a real head case these days, John. You're going to float away on us? Sorry, just distracted. Try to sound depressed, guys. A moment later, he started drifting away again. Even his friends' voices were nothing but buzzing in his ears, meaningless sounds echoing in his hollow shell. They weren't even really his friends. They were friends with the happy-go-lucky person he'd been at the beginning of high school. These days, they joked about him being no fun, but it was more than a joke. They'd get tired of him, find someone else, and then he'd be alone, is what it said, but I freaking skipped it. He wasn't sure whether or not that would be worse. Whoa, is that creepy chick staring at us? I think she is. Who is that anyway? Lizzie Doss, I think, in our year, right, John? Doesn't she have math with you or something? It took John a second to even register the question. They were staring at some girl who was staring back at them. Oh, and there she is. I really believe this girl's gonna be Yandere, but I don't really know. She looked the same as all the other girls at their school. Shyer, maybe. She could probably hear them talking about her. He wanted to say something, but kept silent. Dang, she's really staring. Is she staring at us or John? I think it's him. Haha, you think she's a stalker? Early signs of Yandere girl right there. Yeah, those are some crazy eyes. Haha, you better watch out, John. You're a real sad sack these days, but you can do better than her. Shut up. The words were past his lips before he could stop them. Why did he have to open his mouth now of all times? But he couldn't let them keep talking about her like that. People call him creepy or crazy all the time, and he hated it. But after those two words, he just stood there like an idiot. Even when something mattered to him, he couldn't pull himself together. What's wrong with you, man? Okay, so he said shut up like in more of a mean way, like shut up! Don't say things like that about people you don't know. She's just hanging up out here like we are. Oh no, she's giving us some crazy eyes. Just leave her alone, okay? She hasn't done anything to you. Sheesh. Okay, man. You think she's gonna fall in love with you as her handsome protector or something? Haha. That'd be just like John. Good old John always falling in love with the girls. He doesn't sound depressed. John says, I'm so depressed because all the girls love me and it's just so depressing. Wow, what a problem to have, John. You want to talk to the crazy girl? Be our guest. We're heading back to class. Don't wait up, man. Ooh, they're so mean. The way her eyes moved, John thought she had focused on him so intensely that she might not have even heard what the others said. Did it even bother her? He wished it could be like that instead of the smallest of things sending him crashing into a state of worthlessness. But maybe she was like him, just capable of hiding it. John cleared his throat and walked up to check on her. Hey, sorry about them. They could be a-holes sometimes. Well, I guess I don't have a lot to say. Sorry if we bothered you. She ain't saying nothing. John slunk away and cursed his own idiocy. She had been fine without him. He just made everything worse. There had been something hard in her eyes. A strength he didn't have. He had probably been projecting all of his weakness onto her in the first place. She wasn't like him, wasn't broken. She could shrug off the things his friends had said and get on with her life. At least that meant she could shrug off his annoyance too. She probably just forgotten all about him. I like how we're thinking of these things and she literally has not said a single word. You know, that shows you how our mind can really just trail off. Thank you. You're so kind. Such a kind person. The kindest person, the only person. I found, okay, alright, if that's not a Yandere girl smile, then I don't know what is. This went from 0 to Yandere so quick. I found you, I finally found you, I found you, you. Oh my god. Crimson Gray. Okay, Alright, well, I'm not really sure what to think of this yet. I forgot to mention, but the developer even sent me a copy. I actually ended up buying this copy, but they still sent me one anyway, okay? So if you're watching this, I would like to thank you so much. Here I am. The teacher's voice was incomprehensible, but John knew he must be picking up on some level. He wasn't sure how, but even though he stumbled through every day, he was doing okay in school. He could seem normal whenever he wanted to, it just didn't feel worth it. That was almost the worst part. He seemed normal even though nothing was normal anymore. It wouldn't ever be normal again. What did Mrs. Smith say? High functioning depression? Such an awful empty phase? At least class was over now. He could go home, sleepwalk through his assignments, and then fall unconscious, at least for a few hours. Then he became aware of her. She was watching him. Maybe she wanted to thank him. No, he was being stupid. He'd done nothing worth thanking. More like she wanted him something from him. Or most likely of all, maybe she didn't care about him and he was imagining the whole thing. She was still staring though. Ooh, we have choices. Okay, well, lose her in the hallways, glare at her, smile at her, go talk to her. Well, I'm sure there's multiple choices because after all, it's a visual novel and you guys probably already know how that goes. Let's lose her in the hallways because, okay, if we're gonna be like realistic, if someone was staring me, I'd be kind of scared. In fact, you know, I've made a video about that. So let's lose her in the hallways. The stress of wondering about it was more than he could handle. John slipped between students and ducked through a classroom. When he came out of the other hallway, there was no sign of her. He needed to get his appointment anyway. He didn't want Mrs. Smith getting mad at him again. So I'm guessing what therapy? Mrs. Smith was one of the only people John could focus on. He wasn't sure how good she actually did him aside from prescribing medicine, but at least she tried to help. Oh, there she is. Yeah, totally. I was right. John, you're not looking so bad today. Did something good happen? A boy your age ought to be more interested in girls. Are you dating someone? No, I can't focus on people. Maybe I could prescribe you something for that. We don't have any on hand now, but I think I could get that quickly. That's an advantage of having Koi Tech in town. I don't want to take this medicine anymore. I don't think it's working. The Paxitine? But that's the first one you've really responded to. I feel worse. Everything is so gray. Voices just echo. Can't I go back to generic medicine? Oh, so that's why the background's gray. John, you need to understand that you're deeply clinically depressed. It's my professional opinion that you should under no conditions go off of your medication. When you're getting used to a medication, there could be some initial side effects. Sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better, okay? Okay. All he heard was he was too broken for any drug to fix. He was so worthless even the newest drugs from Koi Tech didn't do anything. I'll renew your Paxitine prescription and see about getting you a complimentary drug. We'll figure this out yet, John. Now, why don't you lie down over there and we can begin our session? Good, get comfortable. Did anything special happen during the day today? No, it was a normal day. The therapist session quickly fell away into a meaningless buzz for a short time. At least he didn't feel the emptiness. Finally, or too soon, it was over. Miss Smith told him he was doing well and sent him on his way. John slumped back home. The house was empty, like it always was. Ever since his mother left, his father spent all of his time working. He did his homework, he ate, he cleaned the dishes, he sat down in front of the TV and stared at it without turning it on. Somehow he dragged himself into bed and fell asleep. The routine used to be comforting, but now it was just starting to erode his sanity. His mind had to crack eventually. Maybe it was already happening for a second. He thought he saw a girl out the window. Oh no! Oh, she came for us at the window. That's perfect. But no, there was nothing, of course. There wasn't. He really was losing it. Yeah, the funny part is he doesn't know if it's his medicine or not. You know, that's kind of scary. Another day. He had to face it somehow. It seemed impossible until the moment he finally stumbled into class. School was the usual mindless buzz. There was a job fair announced in third period as if it meant anything at all. Almost everyone in the school would either go to work for Koi Tech, moved away, or stayed in town and become unemployed. John wondered which one of those would happen to him, but from a distance, as if he was thinking about some person he barely knew. His grades were good enough to get into Koi Tech, but the process was so competitive. No, he didn't have enough energy for that. He couldn't imagine moving away looking for a job in a strange city. Most mornings he could imagine he was surviving the day. But his father wouldn't support him and his mother didn't want him. Once he graduated, there'd be no way he could stay with either of them. What would happen to him? Then would he just become homeless? Sit there on the street begging for change until one night he froze to death? Maybe that was what he deserved. John, are you alright? Sorry, sir, I'm paying attention honestly. I didn't ask that, I asked if you were alright. I'm fine. Well, be sure to talk to the counselor if you're feeling bad, alright? We're lucky to have someone like Mrs. Smith with us. He had to keep it together. He remembered the lessons, but if people were starting to think something was wrong, his control was slipping. He had enough time to visit the locker in between periods. There was more Pakistan there. He still had an extra dose left for the day. His locker was on the bottom row, so he always had to bend down, and there was a piece of paper sitting in the middle of his locker. Cheer up. Oh, that's really nice. Who left that? I wonder if it's Yandere Girl. That was all it said. Nothing on the back side. No of the clues. Probably a girl's handwriting. Who left it? Hey, did you see anyone messing with my locker? Did something get stolen? There's way too many guys around here for me to notice. It might have been a girl leaving a note. Like a love note? Keep dreaming, John. You think any girl's gonna love your sorry butt? No, of course no one could love him. So you didn't see anyone. Okay, thanks. You know, I didn't need that extra comment. Hey, John, you gonna tell me she's a Canadian? I'm heading back to class. See you later. And she's really hot, right? Your imaginary girlfriend sounds amazing. Oh wow, they're bullying me. John probably knew he'd probably just take some more Paxatine and head back to class, yet he was still holding onto the paper. He wasn't sure why. It really could be a prank, one of the guys trying to trick him. If so, it would probably be followed by another fake note asking him to come out under that stupid confession tree. Oh, I'm sensing Yandere Simulator here. Where they let him wait and then laugh at him. But for a moment, he saw a girl watching him. Could it have been her? By the time he had got to class, John had a new theory. She felt sorry for him. He must have looked pretty pathetic, and she recognized his misguided good intentions enough to feel pity. The rest of the school passed in a blur more than usual. He might be delusional, but part of John still hoped that it wasn't a prank. He headed to his locker not daring to imagine anything, and there was another paper waiting there for him. They shouldn't say those things about you. Oh god, oh the music's even changing. It didn't even look like the same person's handwriting. The first had been a beautiful calligraphy. This one had a hurled scrawl. If it was a prank, he no longer had any idea what they were going with this. He had already been beating himself over the wrong thing. So this was too much for John. He headed straight to home to get some sleep before he cracked completely. Okay, it's not real. It's not real, right? The next day, John went as early as possible and approached his locker anxiously. He wasn't sure what he wanted to find. Oh my god. There was no note this time. There was a chocolate heart wrapped in foil. Why the music? Set in the exact center of the bottom of his locker. John stared at it for a while, then slipped it into his pocket and headed to class, even though he knew he would be far too early. There was no way he could eat it. If it was really a prank, they might have slipped a laxative or something inside of it. That was the kind of thing his friends thought was funny. His friends, right? But if it was that girl, it didn't matter now. What mattered was that someone clearly knew his locker combination and could get in whenever they wanted. That could be a real problem. He knew he should come up with a solution before tomorrow, but what? Replace the lock, leave a note, try to keep watch on the locker, tell Mrs. Smith, tell a teacher. Well, I feel like we'd probably just replace the lock. That day during lunch, John stopped by a hardware store to purchase a small padlock. Taking great care to avoid letting anyone look, he used it to close his locker. There were no more messages for the rest of the day, but he couldn't escape the sensation that someone had been staring intensely at him. I've been a Cyclops this entire time, whoops. Successful or not, just accomplishing something made John feel a little better. As he went home and fell asleep, however, the sensation of being watched just got worse. Oh god, what's about to happen, guys? When he woke up the next day, he felt even better. Things would be fine as long as he kept everything in perspective, maybe. Making an effort to set the mystery of the locker aside, John went with his friends to the rooftop for lunch. They spread out on one side, enjoying the sight of the trees below. Midway through the meaningless conversation, John noticed that Lizzie was watching him from the farthest side of the roof. Her gaze was even more intense than before, so he uncomfortably tried to ignore her and focus on the conversation. Looks like the confession tree is in full bloom, huh? You really believe those stories, true love and all that? It works, man. I've got a buddy who just graduated. He swears he got so much blank. We'll just say booty. Confessing under it. Well, if he kept doing it, then it's not true love, is it? Come on, people have been confessing there for years. You seriously think that anyone would confess under the tree if it did nothing? There's no way that works, okay? Nah, man, I think it's just a tree of lust. It doesn't guarantee true love. Just getting laid, okay? I don't know a more family way to say that, okay? If that was true, way more guys would be into it, but it's mostly girls from what I've seen. What do you think, John? I don't know. Don't be that way. You dream of a girl confessing to you under the tree, don't you? Yeah, like that crazy stalker chick. It'd make your heart go all aflutter if she confessed, wouldn't it? That tree is magic, man. I'm telling you. Even a sad sack like you could get lucky if you confess there. Don't be stupid. It's just a tree. Whoa, someone has their panties in a twist. I'm telling you, everyone goes there to... Only because people like you keep telling these stories. There's nothing magic about the tree. People just believe it's special because everyone says it is. Girls think the tree is romantic, so of course they're more likely to agree there. And guys would have to turn someone down in front of an audience. That's all it is. Crap, man, what's wrong with you today? With an attitude like that, you're never gonna get a girl. Haha, you just insulted the tree. Oh no, we insulted the tree. That day, John couldn't get to his therapy appointment fast enough. Miss Smith smiled at him when he came in, but immediately saw he was unhappy. Are you okay, John? Perhaps you should be a stronger what? I skipped it. No. Well, our session should make you feel better. Lie down and get comfortable. Mrs. Smith, does Paxitine have any visual side effects? I should hope not. Koei has the highest of standards for every drug it puts out, and Paxitine is nearly in its final clinical trials. Are you having any vision problems? John lay back and stared out the window. Was he really seeing different, or was it all in his head? He stared at it a long time before he opened his mouth and just started talking. Everything just feels so gray. So you're having vision problems? Not literally gray, it's just like the sky today. I remember when I was younger, I always thought the clouds were beautiful. Now it's like, there's just nothing there. Nothing that matters. I look up and I just don't care. Their session went by in a flash and then he had to head home. He shuffled through his routine easily enough, slept fitfully, and then returned to school barely more rested. I don't know where this is going. I'm pretty sure, you know, with all the positive reviews that it got, it's gonna go in a good direction. But when he arrived, he found a huge crowd standing and staring. What's going on? You know that tree students like to confess, Ender? The words made John shiver even though he wasn't entirely sure why. He shifted to look through the crowd and then he saw it. Oh. Oh my god. Parts of the tree were still burning, but the rest was char, and ashes coated the ground near it. His throat was dry as if all the ashes were filling it. What happened? The cops were coming to check it out, but the shop teacher said it looked like arson. Someone covered the tree in gasoline and burned it down. See, this is why we need cameras. I've been telling the principal for years, but does he listen to me? No. No one thinks. The words slid off his mind and John turned away without even saying goodbye. Not entirely sure what he was doing, he stumbled straight to his locker. His padlock was still holding his locker firmly closed, but he could see that a paper had been wedged into the slits. John took it out with trembling hands. I didn't like that tree either. Ooh. So it's like everything we don't like, she watches us and then she takes action. Oh boy, I really wish I wasn't poor. I really wish I had a lot of money right now and then we'd have a bunch of money. She's like a magical genie, but just more of a yandere genie that doesn't know magic. He stared at the words as if they were a foreign language, wishing he could avoid understanding the conclusion. I didn't like that tree either. It was her, it had to be. None of his friends would be that insane, and what would be the point of a prank like that? But what was the point for her? What did she think she accomplished? Should he tell someone? But that wasn't exactly evidence, and did he really want her to get in that much trouble? John decided he was being stupid like usual. He just needed to talk to her and find out exactly what was going on. And you know, just put it into this, right? That day, whenever he was in the hallways, he could feel her eyes on him. With every passing moment, he became more sure that she had burned down the tree. He wondered if a normal person would be afraid now, but for him, it barely penetrated his numbness. He just wanted to find out what was wrong and put an end to it. It took until after school for him to find his chance. When the teacher handed out assignments, he volunteered to clean the roof. John stepped onto the roof and headed to the far side. After a few seconds, he heard the door open again. He ignored it and instead climbed up to the tank. The upper area was meant to be blocked off, but the janitors had stopped putting up the ladder years ago. He turned, and to his shock, she was already coming up the ladder behind him. Reaching the top, she held her hands close to her chest and shuffled her feet demurely. I don't know what that means, but there was a spark in her eyes. Hello, Lizzie. Are you never going to greet me? Hello? Ah, I said it. I said it! Why are you following me? Because Could this girl really have burned down the tree? It didn't really seem like she had it in her. Were you the one leaving me notes in my locker? Yes. How did you know my combination? I watched you. Why, did you get a new lock? Now, I can't leave things in your... unless you wanted me to watch you to learn the new combination? Is this a game? Oh yeah, sure! Sure. John realized that he was way over his head, yet his mouth was still moving, asking the inevitable question. Why did you burn it down? Because it was a stupid tree! You're so smart! You said it just right! It was awful and stupid and I hate it! And I hate it, hate! Oh god, this girl's gonna kill me! It's all because of you, John! I never could do what needed to be done before! Now I can! She wasn't stable, she wasn't even close! What had he gotten himself into? I finally found you! You're the only one for me! Part of him knew that he should do something, run away, call for help, yet... Why? Huh? Why do you care about me? How could you ask that? You're the best person. The only person. Bullcrap, I'm just another high school boy. No, not even that, I'm worthless. No, no, no! Don't say that, it's not true, it's not! It's bullcrap! Oh, hi, John. Got to appreciate that for sure. I'm sorry, but it's just like, it's so perfect. We're on a rooftop and everything. I did not burn down the tree. I did not. I'm broken. My brain doesn't work right, and even the strongest drugs don't make a difference. No, that's not true, John. It's perfect. Perfect. How could you say things like that? The way her words flowed together, addressing him directly one moment in third person the next, bothered him almost as much as the look in her eyes. Whatever her issue was, it went deep. You're not well, Lizzie. You need help. You said my name, but I can't help you. I'm not worth anything to anyone. Just forget about me and find someone else to care about. No, no, I could never. You're the only person who matters. But why? You don't even know me. You don't care about me. I'm just part of your problem. No. It would be better if I was gone. Maybe you'd get better then. That's not true. It's not. I love you, John. I've always loved you. I've watched you, always. You're so good and kind and perfect, and even to a girl like me. He could barely even listen to her words. John found himself wandering closer and closer to the side of the building, and she followed him automatically. You're so sad, but you're still kind. I don't know how. You should be broken like me, but you... I can't help you. If you want to help yourself, you need to forget about me and just get some real help. No, no, don't say that. You're so confused. Yes, confused. Poor John is so depressed. He's not thinking straight. He doesn't understand how much I love him. Oh, well, then the knife isn't gonna help the situation. He needs my help. Oh, well, honestly, what are you gonna do with the knife? Is she going to cut the depression out of us? I don't know if that's gonna help. The world froze for a moment as the knife glinted, and all he could do was stare at its edge. You just need someone to take care of you. I'll stop everyone who says unkind things about you. No, no, I should just take you home and keep you there, safe. Yes, you just need some help. Where the heck has she got that knife? Would she actually use it on him? A second later, John realized that he was foolish, or that was a foolish thought. The girl had burned down a tree because he said it was stupid. He had no idea what was her limits and what she might do. And what would that really matter? He spent nights lying in bed wishing he'd never been born, wishing he had a way to end it all. You know, he's got a point there. You know, he is depressed and, obviously, like, he's being very, over dramatic in a sense, because that's basically what depression is. It makes you think over dramatically, I would say, in a way. Because for him to say things like he doesn't matter is obviously not true. Haha, you can't threaten me. John, get away from the edge, it's not safe. He took several steps to the very edge before she could stop him and turned around to face her. The back end of his toes hung off the edge of the building, nothing between him and a fatal fall. My life matters so much to you, stop toying around with me. No, you don't understand. What do you even want? To stab me until I'm yours forever? Is that it? Never. John is so good and kind. I would never need to stab him. Please come away. I'll take good care of you. You can't. Maybe you have some good intentions, but you need help, and unless you get it, you can only hurt me. I will. Whatever you want, I promise. Just don't hurt yourself. It was a lie, of course. She was just saying whatever it took to get him to step away from the edge. It was exactly how he'd imagined it would go. He'd stand on the edge and everyone would say all kinds of lies about how much he mattered to them because they'd care for the first time, not about him, but about the idea of him. But the look in her eyes that couldn't be faked, it might be a twisted love, but she loved him utterly. She needed help too. Maybe he could be the one to help her, assuming she didn't stab him, that is. But what the heck was he lying for anyway? But what the heck was he living for anyway? Lizzie, would you make a promise with me? A promise? I'll step away. I'll talk to you or let you leave notes in my locker or whatever it is you want. But you have to listen to me and get some help. Can you do that? You promise? You promise you won't leave me if I say yes? I won't leave you, Lizzie. Forever? The answer stuck in his throat as he hesitated, wondering if he didn't make a mistake in saying too much, but in the end he swallowed and nodded. Forever. Ha. Ha. Now set down the knife and whoops. As he started to step away, John lost his balance and fell backwards. Suddenly, he was in a free fall, nothing between him and the cold pavement. Holy crap. Oh my god, that's creepy. In that moment, Lizzie lunged forward insanely fast and grabbed his wrist. She's like super yandere. Impossibly, she helped him up. Her body was so thin, yet somehow she had stopped his fall and helped him up with one hand. Her eyes held a mixture of unstable fear and twisted desire. In that moment, he knew with an absolute certainty that if he had fallen, she would have thrown himself off after him. You can't die, John. You're the only one. The only one. With that same incredible strength, she pulled him back up onto the rooftop. Fortunately, she had left the knife behind when she lunged to catch him, but he was still anxious being so close to her. John almost died. I love you. I won't let anything bad happen to you. It was clear she was completely unstable, but she was actually dangerous. She seemed to care about him more than anything. Or was he just so pathetic that he launched onto anyone who showed him the slightest sign of affection? Worthless. You'll keep your promise, right? Of course, of course. Then tomorrow we'll go talk to someone. We'll see if we can get you some medication. Is that okay? If that's what John wants, then okay, it's okay. Good then, perhaps. But I want more than that. I love you, John. I've told you over and over, don't you love me too? At least she was asking without the knife in her hand, but was there a good answer to that question? No, he had to think about it logically. She wanted him to answer yes, but that just might make her worse. The risk of saying no couldn't be ignored either, though. Oh God. Oh God, guys. What should we do? Alright, what should we do? I think this is a good place to end it, guys. But guys, I will put a poll right here. I don't use polls too often, but I will put a poll. Make sure you answer what you want me to say, and I will be sure to do it next episode. I always like doing that every opportunity I get anyway. It's always fun to do that. But yeah, guys, this seems pretty interesting. I would like to know where the story goes. Are we actually going to help her become better and not so yandere? And I don't know. You know, so far it seems pretty intriguing, and I would like to play more. But again, I don't like to make the episodes too long. So guys, let me know what you think of this visual novel. It's gonna deal with those themes of depression and yandere. So it's like Doki Yandere. Today's scrub of the day goes to Cardi B. Wow, Cardi B stopped by, the famous rapper girl. Wow, holy crap, who would have known that she likes my channel. I love Baldina Georgie. that is Baldi's full name, Baldina Georgie. Wow, thank you so much for letting me know, Cardi B. You are the scrub of the day today. If you guys want to be scrub of the day, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more yandere content, Baldi content, and lots of other games that you guys might enjoy. Alright, feel free to check out some more videos at the end, guys. And also don't forget to hit those bells, right? Hit them bells, all of the bells, hit them. That way you don't miss out on some uploads, guys. It means a lot. Again, I would like to make another episode and I'd, see where this goes. Anyway, guys, but we're gonna end this here. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you scrubs in the next one. Bye, guys.